Hi everyone, here we are in the third folder of the fourth module. Here we are talking about the structure of our on-campus courses. So let's start with lecture instructors. For lecture instructors, since you are the instructor of record and the primary instructor for the course, there are a few things that you must do overall as the course instructor. And first is mastering and Pearson content. Pearson is the publisher of our textbook and all of our online material for the course. Mastering Anatomy and Physiology, Mastering A&P, is the section of the Pearson website with homework assignments and other additional study content. So since this is digital content, it is up to the lecture instructor to install this content and its links to the course. Now, whether you use mastering, that's up to you. I suggest it. It's great, but it is up to you. However, you must install the e-textbook from Pearson, and you must install all of the other study items for Pearson by way of a link. And Victoria Thompson has walked through how to do that in the previous modules, I believe. You must provide a general walkthrough of the course expectations during the first class meeting. So plan to, on day one, the first several minutes of class, go through how you are going to run lecture, answer any questions, go through briefly the syllabus. However, it is the student's responsibility to have the syllabus either on a device or printed out. Please do not print out a syllabus for every student in your course. That's because the biology department pays for everything that you print, and we have a very limited budget. If you print out 44 syllabi for every course that you teach, well, that's going to get very expensive and run through our budget before the semester even begins. You do not need to read the syllabus from front to back. What you should do is just point out the important topics, things like deadlines, when can they withdraw from the course, things like that, when midterms will be posted. Go over your course schedule and where they can find it in the syllabus. Point out your contact information. Tell them the best way to reach you, how quickly you respond when they do reach out to you. Next, show students how to access their course eText. So once you've installed that eTextbook, show them how they can get to it. If you use mastering, show them how to get to mastering. Show them how to get to the other study materials. Now, if you do not teach your own lab, you will want to make sure that your lab instructor has access to your Blackboard shell. Over on the left side, it will show on your Blackboard page your name as the instructor, and there should be another name underneath yours that's the lab instructor. If you do not see that, you need to find out who your lab instructor is, reach out to them to see if they have access to the course, and if they don't, please reach out to either myself, Scott Davis, or Shelley Larrabee, who is the biology coordinator. We will make sure that the lab instructor is attached to that course. They do have to have access to Blackboard so that they can do things like post the lab manual and such. Maintain regular communication with your lab instructor. So even though you are teaching the two portions of the course separately, you do need to maintain regular communications. The weekly lecture schedule for 16-week courses. So every week you should post a weekly announcement, either on Sunday or Monday, to give the students an idea of what will be happening that week. You can post more if you want to, but you do have to post at least one weekly announcement. Now, for the lab side of the course, so during the first lab meeting, you must go over laboratory safety, and there will be a sheet with laboratory safety points laying on the instructor's bench when you arrive to lab. But you do have to go through that with the students so that they know what policies are in place for the laboratory. Now, I encourage you as a lab instructor to send out multiple announcements before the first day of class, letting students know about lab safe attire. Every student has to wear lab safe attire, and that is, they have to have closed-toed shoes. They cannot wear sandals even if they have socks on underneath. They have to wear closed-toed shoes. They have to wear pants that reach the ankle. They cannot wear capri pants or shorts. No skirts. They cannot wear crop tops or any shirts that expose their midriff. So no skin can be showing other than face and arms. That's very important. If a student arrives and they are not properly dressed, you are not allowed to even let them into the lab. That is an OSHA safety violation. If a student arrives and they're not dressed properly, what I tell them is, do you have any clothing in your car that you can go change into? Or do you have a friend here on campus that you can swap clothes with, or something? Otherwise, they have to be turned away. They cannot enter the lab, and that would not be considered an excused absence. You could offer to let them attend another lab that week, but that's not guaranteed, especially if it's a lab late in the week. There's not going to be another opportunity for them. Please communicate regularly with the lecture instructor for your course. Make sure that you and the lecture instructor are back and forth communicating regularly. Now, there will be a lab manual that you must provide to the students. So there's going to be two versions of the lab manual. One is the full laboratory manual that you will post in the lab module of Blackboard. But I'm also going to make available individual labs. They're the same labs that are in the full lab manual. But instead of having one very large document, you will post Lab 1 in the Lab 1 folder, Lab 2 in the Lab 2 folder. That way, the students have access to individual labs within their weekly lab folders. You must post that for the students. Please do not print them out. Again, we have a very limited budget, so it's up to the student to print those out or bring them in on their device. The weekly lab schedule for 16-week, so you should post a weekly lab announcement either on Sunday or Monday for the coming week. There should be a lab overview. It says link your video. This is not really required. This is more of an online, but if you would like to give them a lab overview video so that they know what to expect of the coming week's lab, that's fine. Lab exercise and lab quiz are done in lab. So the lab week runs from Monday to Sunday. Monday's the first day of the week, Sunday's the last day of the week. And quizzes must be given during the first 10 minutes of lab. And not every week has a lab quiz, but if there is a quiz that week as identified in the lab syllabus, that lab quiz should be given during the first 10 minutes of lab. As soon as it's over and you take the quizzes up, you should go over the correct answers so that students can identify gaps in their knowledge. Then, after doing the lab activity, which every student should participate in, students should be instructed to clean their lab bench prior to leaving, and then, before they leave, you should check to ensure that they actually did clean their lab bench, which includes putting away microscopes, wiping up spills, anything like that. Lab practical exams. We have 4 practical exams. They are given in person during the regularly scheduled lab times. Now, lab practical exams will not take the full 2 hours. You will be given instruction on how long the practical exams take. Okay, so that is all of the walkthrough for Module 4. All that is left after this is to take the Module 4 exam. Once you complete the Module 4 exam with 100%, you will be allowed to, or you will be placed into the course leader modules or the course leader instructor shells. All right. If you have any questions at all, reach out to either Victoria Thompson, who is over all online sections of Bio 137, Bio 139, Dr. Melissa Davis, who is a course leader for Bio 137, or myself, Scott Davis. I am the on-campus course leader for 139, and I am assisting Melissa Davis right now in Bio 137. All right, take care, and I hope you all have a great semester.